Most students and professionals define analysis using a standard dictionary entry. It reads, "The resolution of something into simpler elements." To analyze is to take a complex whole and identify its parts. The term comes from the ancient Greek analysis, which literally means a loosening up or dissolution. The poet Homer used it to describe Penelope unraveling her woven shroud by night to prevent her suitors from forcing her to remarry. This etymology has created a common misconception. We often assume that analyzing a machine, a system, or a concept is the same as disassembling it, breaking it down until we reach its smallest pieces. This view is historically incomplete. Reducing analysis to mere disassembly fails to account for how rigorous inquiry has actually functioned across different cultures and centuries. This grid organizes the 4 distinct models of analysis used throughout the history of philosophy: the regressive, the decompositional, the interpretive, and the connective. Grasping these 4 dimensions shifts analysis from a simple act of disassembly to a precise method for resolving complex problems. We begin in the first quadrant, the regressive model. The roots of this method lie in ancient Greek geometry, specifically in the work of the mathematician Pappus, who formalized techniques used to prove complex theorems. The mechanism is counterintuitive. Rather than building up from nothing, you assume the goal is already true. From there, you work backwards, deducing which previous theorems support that conclusion, until you reach a bedrock axiom. This differs from the standard definition of analysis. Here, we aren't breaking a theorem into pieces. We are moving backward from an effect to find its foundational causes. Regressive analysis is used to uncover the hidden, necessary conditions that allow a complex phenomenon to exist in the first place. Next is the second quadrant, the decompositional model. This is the version most familiar to us today. This method traces back to Plato's search for definitions through his method of division. This creates an extensional hierarchy, a system that categorizes objects by the groups they belong to. Plato defined a human being by taking the broad category of animals and dividing it into rational and non-rational subclasses. In the 17th century, René Descartes refined this approach, instructing researchers to divide every difficulty into as many parts as possible to resolve them better. This logical mechanism turned the metaphor of unpacking an idea into a literal technique for identifying its constituents. Decompositional analysis is used to isolate variables, cataloging the exact conceptual ingredients that make up a complex thought. We move to the third quadrant, the interpretive or transformative model. This approach defined 20th century analytic philosophy. These philosophers argued that ordinary language is often deceptive. The grammatical structure of our sentences can mask the actual logical structure of reality. Bertrand Russell sought to resolve these linguistic traps by looking beneath the surface of our words. Consider this negative existential statement: unicorns do not exist. If we use simple decomposition, unicorns acts as a subject, and non-existence acts as a property. This creates a paradox. For the sentence to be about something, unicorns must have some kind of reality, a shadow realm where they exist, just so we can say they don't. Gottlob Frege solved this through quantificational logic. Quantificational logic is a mathematical system used to determine how many things in a given domain possess a specific property. The final quadrant is the connective model. This emerged as a reaction against endlessly breaking things down. Critics argued that reductionism can strip an idea of its meaning. To truly understand a concept, you need to see the context surrounding it. Oxford linguistic philosophers began mapping the logical geography of concepts, looking at how they relate to one another in our shared language. This aligns with the concept of Li in Chinese Neo-Confucianism, the idea of an underlying pattern that unifies the parts of a whole. In the connective model, analysis connects outward. We understand a single point by seeing how it fits into the larger web. We can now see these 4 quadrants as a single toolkit. These are not competing theories. They are interlocking phases of a complete analytic process. A complete analysis requires us to translate a problem into a rigorous framework, move backward to its first principles, isolate its internal variables, and map its external connections. This cross-cultural framework provides a more complete way to clarify the structures underlying our thoughts and our world. Consider your own field, whether it is engineering, medicine, or law. When you encounter a problem that seems unsolvable, ask yourself which of these 4 dimensions of analysis you are neglecting.